Hey y'all, so we're about to get right into it. So I'm gonna start with my brows. For a disclaimer, I haven't posted in that long because I got a new phone and my video deleted with my phone. So yeah, but everybody recommended me. They was like, "Oh, can you do brows?" I'm like, "Sure." So I don't use pencil. I use dip brow, Kiss dip brow in the chocolate color. And what I do is I outline first and then I color it in to fill it in more naturally, just to have an outline of it. And then if I need to outline it some more, like at the end towards after I conceal, then I just do that. But in the front, I try my best to, make it look real. So I'm about to use my concealer, my Maybelline concealer in the color 45. That's tan, by the way. And disclaimer, I love drugstore makeup. I don't know why. Not for palettes though. Like I love the foundation, concealer, stuff like that. So you see, after I did the concealer, I go back in and I line it up just to have it sharp. Because I like my stuff sharp. I don't know why. It just look better to me. It don't look realistic. I don't want it to look so natural, But everybody say it look natural, but I just like it sharp. You know what I'm saying? So I'm outlining it, and now I buff it into my eyelid because I'm a put concealer on my eyelid regardless. So it don't matter if it go that low. And I drag it out, as you can see. And then now I'm using my Juvias Place in the number 9 for the top because it's a darker color than the tan color. So I just put a little bit on there because this is a really pigmented concealer. If y'all didn't know, this concealer is like full coverage. You only need a little bit, as you can see. You see it was only that little dot, and I already covered my eyebrow, and I still have more. So yeah, that's that. So I start with the front for the most part, and then I drag it down, and then once I'm done with that, I just go back in and do the front. And I drag both my eyebrows together to make sure they're lined up together. As you can see, that's why it's a straight line going across. Then I just buff that line out, so you won't see that line like at all, like whatsoever. You see, I buff it out. And you see how my front look all nice and faded. So now I take another concealer brush, the concealer brush I usually use for like buffing out stuff, and I just buff it into my skin. Yes, on fleek. So now I'm about to do my eyelids. So I put the concealer on there, as you know, Juvia's Place. Now I buff that out. And I just keep buffing. Make sure it's all the way buffed out because my eyelids, they kind of crease a little. And when I put concealer on there, because my eyelids is oily, I put concealer on there, makes it more oily. So you have to do it for a second. So that is my Juvia's Place Nubian 3 Coral. And the color, it's a gray color. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. And it don't have a name on it, but it's a really cute gray color. I've never tried gray. So, we're just going to try it out today. So, no, I'm going to take that gray color and I'm going to put it into my crease. Into my crease. And then I do it on the other side, of course. So, I'm using a fluffy brush to buff it in, and to smooth it out. So, as I told y'all in the last video, I never really touch color to my eyebrows. Unless, only in the front, and I rarely do that. If I do, it's close, but it's not on my eyebrow. So, especially towards the end, you'll never see color ever touching the arch of my eyebrow. So, as you can see, I'm just buffing it out to blend it into with the concealer that I got up there. So yeah, I'm just blending that out. And you see where my eyes crease in the front of my like near my nose and my eyebrows where it goes in. So I try to make more definition of that. So I bring the gray up a little bit more in that area because I like to fade it out towards the end. So now I'm just taking my Q-tip and I am taking my Garnier Skin Active Water Rose Miracle Water, and I just put that on my face after I, y'all get what I'm saying. And I clean it off because I get really oily skin. I told y'all that, especially my eyelids. So I'm gonna cut my crease, and yeah. I try to make it as good as possible, I try to make it sharp, like the sharpest I can make it. And it takes me a minute to do it. I keep checking in the mirror. Y'all gonna see that. So no, when I'm done cutting the crease though, I buff it out, because when you buff it out, you get better result when you put something over it. If you get what I'm saying, because if you just put the concealer on there and it's wet, it's gonna make your whatever you put on there look real cakey. And nobody wants cakey eyes. So yeah. So yeah, I just buffed the other side out, because whatever you do for the first eye, you do to the second one. So now I'm about to go in with them 2 silver colors, because they're so pretty. I just cannot. One's the darker color I'm going to put in the outer side to blend in with the gray. And then I'm going to take the lighter color and I'm going to put it towards the front. Just to, do the light to dark, like the gradient looking kind of thing, So no, I just press that in. I don't rub it. If I do rub it, it's after I put the pigment on. Just to add, So yeah, so I take some of that gray color because I went a little over with the other silver, and I just add that in. So I did the other eye off camera because you already get the gist, because I did the first eye on there. So now I'm just pressing a little bit more silver to give it more, of a light color. And I'm just pressing that in. So now I'm going to use my e.l.f. eyeliner. I was taking a drink, y'all. I was thirsty. I got allergies and my throat always dry, so I got to have something to drink near me. So now y'all know what I always do. I start with the outside. Sometimes I start with the inside. I mean the inside, and then I start with the outside. Sometimes. It just depends how I'm feeling on the look. So we just not about to pretend like that wing is not just like what? Like everything, baby. Nah, okay. So I'm gonna do the other eye. So I try my best to make them look as good as possible and as even as possible, because it's kind of hard to do a wing when you right-handed on your left eye. So no. So these lashes I got from my friend, and they is lovely. Like they not too dramatic to where they like thick, but like they good, trust me. Now I'm about to use my Maybelline. I got this from Walmart, but it's my Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation in the color Mocha. So now I'm just gonna press that in a Real Technique brush. I sometimes use a sponge. It just depends on the situation. But here I'm gonna use my brush to press in my foundation. So this look a little It's my color. It just look a little different on in lighting, you know. But yeah, I'm using my Black Radiant foundation stick for contour. I forgot what color it is, but you get the gist. It has to be darker than your skin. That's it. So now I just outline my chin and like my jawline area, cause you know you want to have a snatched jaw. Cause I got a gobble neck, but we're just not gonna talk about it. Now I'm gonna use that concealer I use for the bottom of my eyebrows, for under my eyes, and I'm gonna highlight my nose. I think, yeah, I'm gonna highlight my nose. Then I'm gonna highlight my forehead and my chin. And then I buff that out with my concealer brush. And then it might not look too gradient, but it's gonna look better. Trust me. I promise. So now I'm just blending in the contour that I did. I blend in my contour first sometimes. It just depends on the situation. I blend it up instead of down because I don't want to drag it down. You know what I'm saying? If you drag it down, it makes your face look a little bit more chubbier. And I'm not trying to do that. So I'm just blending that. So now I'm just going to press in the concealer with my concealer buffing brush. I'm just going to buff that into my skin. Like, buff it into where I did the contour too, so it'll look more blended into each other, you know? Y'all get what I'm saying. So right here. So when you do this, it's going to drag out a little bit and it's going to look like really harsh. So what you do is you take the foundation brush that you use and you buff out the part where it's like a harsh line at, and it'll mix into the dark part. So now it's just nice and gradient, and it all flows with each other. See? You see how it's kind of harsh right there, and you just blend it out with your foundation brush that you used. And now it's, yeah. So I'm using my Airspun in the translucent. I love translucent powder. So I'm about to take that sponge, put it under my eye. Sometimes I put a lot. It's just depending on how much product I put on. Sometimes I don't bake, sometimes I do. I don't know. It all depends on the situation. If I'm going somewhere with dark lights, I'm gonna definitely bake. If not, then, you know. So now I'm just gonna take the rest of that, just a little bit of powder, and I'm gonna set the rest of my face, because nobody want no, like, the liquid moving all day, and then, like, you go to hug somebody and it's on their shirt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna set everything. So now I like my Juvias Place Zulu palette. That brown is, I love that brown. I don't know why, but yeah, I use that as a contour powder, because just look how it makes my skin look. It's just wonderful. So I just contour where I had put the contour stick at, you know. I just contour a little bit in them areas. And like I said before, where my eye crease, like right there with my nose and my eye crease, I definitely try to define that when I contour my nose. So that's when I contoured. It went up to my eyebrow. So now I'm just going to wipe off this powder. Make sure it's all off. Okay, so as you see, the powder leaves a line as well. So now you just take your contour. Well, my contour is eyeshadow, but we're just not going to talk about it. You just blend that in. So now I'm about to go in with the Warriors by Juvias Place. And I'm going to use that shimmery gold color, because baby, who don't like that gold? I do. So now you just highlight, of course. I look good. Okay, so I'm actually going back in to that first palette that I used for my eyes, and I'm just going to put some under my eyes. I don't usually put makeup under my eyes, but yeah, a little bit got in my eye. We're just gonna forget about that. So now I'm just gonna buff that out at the edge so it don't look too harsh. Now I'm gonna use my Morphe spray. I love that spray. First off, now I am done, y'all. Please like and subscribe. See y'all later. Bye.